Awesome. So let's begin this one more time. And this is the crypto arbitrage bot that we are currently experimenting with. It's called caught.ts.com. And uh, after your initial setup, which is pretty straightforward, it should look like this, and this should be your landing page. And your total asset should be showing up here. And right here, you should be having this identity authentication. If you click on that, initially it should show up like this, but later on, once your identity is verified, it should show up with this check mark, which should say pass. And now to the setup where you actually start making money is you can just go into this one, transaction hall, right here. And immediate competition for orders, this should show up, and your wallet balance should be showing up here. My wallet balance is currently more than $10,000, which I've invested, and this is what I've earned so far: 24 grand, $24 on my initial investment of $1,000. And this is compounding daily, and that's what I like about it. So the way that you get started is click on this immediate competition for orders, and right now my balance is less than $5, so I can't do much. Once you set up the bot and whatnot, this is how you can do it manually, run the transactions manually. And now I think let's see if we can set up the bot right here. Hutch, help me out. What am I doing wrong? Why my bot not running?
Click on it.
Oh fuck, look at this. When you click extension on, this should be all the time, right?
Well,
So this is my,
you have to start it and stop it yourself.
so why is it not playing in loop? Should I change it here?
Right now you've only got 3 loops, so it's going to run 3 loops and then shut off. So you need to change that to 100.
Right. So it not in here
Yes,
in my code?
yes. No, the for it to run that many loops, no. So this is the
Okay.
freeware version of this. That's why the Python script is actually really cool. Because
So Python, that script that you're running, that's in Firefox, right?
yeah, it's yeah. And what
Should
that
I
one,
switch to Firefox?
um, I'm going to, but I'm running it on a separate laptop. I mean, I'm not running it on my main computer. So what that Python script does is when it hits the time interval, or when you tell it to run, it opens Firefox. It logs you into the COTP website. It goes through and pulls any if you have any rewards available. It pulls those, and then it goes to that page that you're on right there, and it will complete orders until you're under $5, and then it will shut itself off. It closes down Firefox and goes to sleep until it hits the timer, and then it starts the process all over again.
So it again opens the Firefox and does the whole song and dance again.
Yep, you don't have to do anything once it's running.
And sounds good. So that's what we need. All you need to do is have a computer running. That's it,
Yep, pretty much.
right?
I mean, it's if you're in the middle of trading hot and heavy, I don't know that you'd want it, on your main computer.
Right, right. So for now, my bot is not really doing, automatically. It's not running automatically. Well, what do I change here?
Change your play macro repeatedly, uh, max 100.
This is fine, but it's not
Yep,
doing it, unless I manually start it.
right. And it won't. You have to manually start it. Hit play loop. There it goes.
So, uh, do we have to change something around here?
Um, I've got a newer script that will
Hmm.
go in and it'll pull your it'll pull your rewards first before it goes to the orders. That way, if you have any money sitting there, it'll pull that
Mm-hmm.
money and add it to your assets before it tries to go and buy more.
I see.
And we changed. I changed the wait seconds to 600 instead of 8,000. I can't for the life of me.
So you want to do that now? You want to make the changes for me now, or you want to wait till later charting is done?
I can walk you through it real quick. Hit stop. Hit manage. Hit edit.
Okay.
Hit edit macro.
Oh, it's up coming up here. Okay. What happened? Edit micro. There it is. Okay. That's a macro.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna copy and paste the line that you need to put in it.
Which line?
You're gonna add a line to the beginning of it, right underneath the version.
Uh, right. Okay.
Copy.
I
All right.
use sendings. Okay, there. Okay.
Yep. So you're gonna put that right underneath version.
Right. And remove this.
Nope. Leave that alone.
Okay.
And then go down all the way to the very bottom
Okay.
and change your seconds to. I was running 600 and I didn't have any problem with 600. That'll run the script every 10 minutes.
Nice.
600.
Okay.
There you go. And then hit save and close.
Save and close.
Yep. And then hit
Okay.
go to play and hit play loop.
Compiling the macro. It's thinking. That's a lot of time to compile a macro.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. Mine don't take anywhere near that long. Mine's like blink of an eye and it's running the script.
Family. Okay.
There it goes. Probably just the first time.
Waiting. So every 10 minutes it's gonna run. That's what it's
Yeah.
doing, right?
So what it's done is it's gone to your my team page, and
Mm-hmm.
I haven't figured out the level 2, level 3 buttons yet, but it's going to that level 1. It's hitting the receive button. So if you have any income sitting there, it's going to pull that, and then it's going to go there, and it's going to spend it. The thing about this macro is it'll run however many times it tells it to in the script, up to a total of 50, and then it's going to shut down. You can't do over 50 macros in the free version of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've noticed is a lot of times it leaves money sitting there. It doesn't. It doesn't.
So here is where it says runtime error. There's at line 15.
Element uni button specified that.
Line 15, somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Up here.
Immediate SP button, SP orders. It's the same line. It's the same line I've got. Uni button was not found. Line 15.
TXT, SP competition, SP
You
pro.
know what? Let's go in there and change that wait seconds on line 13. Let's change that to, I don't know, 20.
Line 13. Okay.
Yeah, let's change that to 30, I guess, or 20. Maybe that website's not completely loading before it's trying to hit the button.
Where is save and close? Play loop.
Yeah.
Where did that go?
And in the meantime, my Python script is run 3 times.
Hmm. What are these IDs and what are these doing?
All right, so now it's going to there.
All right, so it did something.
Yeah, so see that it's highlighted line 13. That's where it's at right now. It's counting down, waiting 14, 15, 16
What
up
is
on.
it waiting for, by the way?
Well, apparently it was too fast. That's why we changed the seconds from 10 to 30. So it
Is it
should.
waiting for this page to load? Is that what it's
No,
doing?
no, no, no. It's waiting for the script to run. So it should be placing an order right now. I can't see anything underneath that window, so I don't know if it's trying to place an order or not. Yeah, yeah, it's running.
It's
But
the
you're
network is abnormal. Please try again. Okay.
Yeah, we get that when you have a balance of less than $5. Sometimes it'll give you that error. Sometimes it'll give you have less than $5. But if you're under five, it'll do one of those two errors.
Let's
So
see.
I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
right.
I'm pretty. Uh-huh.
So that green line up on top where it says waiting,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll see the lines are highlighted down below it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it now. I think it was on line. Say you're on line 33 right now. Now you're on line 37.
Right. So basically, this driver is trying to run the script and do the repetitive task based on the results it is collecting from the task before it. It's waiting again this 11 seconds here.
Yeah, it's just a macro. That's all it is. Just a
Mhm.
series of key presses, really.
Yep.
I mean, it's not
It's
smart.
trying to run again.
The Python script is actually smart because it'll run until you're out of money.
Right. Right. Should we just use it on Firefox then? Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll set it up on Firefox as well. Maybe a little later, once we're done with this charting session. But this looks pretty decent to me. This really looks pretty decent. Why is it hitting on interest earned and whatnot? As I'm trying, I don't know what is it trying to do on this page.
No, you don't have the complete script. It's what that does is it goes to a different page. It can be any page, but it goes
Mm-hmm.
to a different page so that when it calls the script to run again, it goes
Mm-hmm.
to a page that and it refreshes it.
Right, right.
So
Now it is waiting for. So this macro will keep running and keep doing this now.
unless it hits an error, and then it'll shut itself off.
Yeah, the Python can run in Chrome too. Yep.
I I don't know. I don't know how to set it up in Chrome.
I'm sure there's an extension for that. But if it works in a different browser, that's what I want because I use Chrome for all my charts to be up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So we're still here. Whole thing. So that's about that, and let's get on with our charting. And let's see. Okay, looks good. Where is the extension by itself? All right, so it looks good. So this is what I wanted you guys to see, that the calculation is pretty legit, and the business is pretty legit, and I am trying to get 10% out every single day, or rather every single month, and this is the projection. So I should be able to pull out, my initial investments right about here, right around here, within July, even if I'm pulling out 10%. But I don't have to wait. I'll be pulling out my initial investment right around the first month itself, or at least I'll be pulling out 500, 50% of it. Then I'll start running the rest of it. If it works out, good. If it doesn't work out, I'll have at least the experience under my belt. So that's the thought process there. All right, so let's jump into the charting. And first thing first, let's get into futures. So futures are pretty upbeat, as you might imagine. Pretty decent session. Obviously, the futures would have been pretty decent. So that's what we are seeing here. No surprises. Expecting the futures to push into this 200 on the 15-minute, 42.99. So give or take 4,300. This should happen. This will happen. No doubts about it. And so far, again on the SPX side as well, this was the same scenario, that it was running into its resistance, and this resistance is pretty hard to break. And until that resistance is broken, I think it will still, but I don't believe it's going to break this resistance as of where things are standing. And I believe it will come back down. It's getting oversold here, overbought, and a breather would be a very nice thing to have here, so that can capture the upside tomorrow morning. So this thing should come back down, hit the 5, push down into this number here, and probably test this number around 42.80. It would be an awesome thing if it can actually come back into the mean here, 42.50. So this would be really, really good if the futures can actually come back down at least 50 points into this 42.49 range. I'm not really expecting that to happen. However, a breather here is pretty much standard. This is pretty much standard. The breather here would be pretty much standard. And this is where the market started to bottom out around 11:30. I was looking at Apple, and we were chatting, I think, on voice about it. I was looking for oil to stabilize around that time, and we were looking for, we were saying that if the oil stabilizes around that, the market will stabilize. And as expected, the market stabilized around that time. Let's see if I was correct about it or not. Uh, this is slow.
Colin.
What now? Okay. This is taking time to load. So let's open up another 1 hour chart, maybe 15-minute chart. This is super slow. VIX. So around here, the VIX started to come back down. And now let's open up the chart, a 15-minute chart for oil. Let's see how was oil correlated there. And voila. Around here, oil started to stabilize. And this is what we're looking for, oil to stabilize. And as soon as oil stabilized around 11:30, markets VIX started to come back down right around here, 11:30. This is the time frame. VIX started to push down. This is when I started to go long on the markets, and right around that corner, futures started to bottom out. And you can actually say that it was oil dependent, or it was, the number that SPX hit, which was about 4,200 today, or at around 11:30. You can make in an argument there as well that it hit a site level or whatnot. But usually markets don't work like that, because what's 42? What's the difference between a 42 or a 42.50? Or 42.11, 42.10, or 41.09, whatever that is. I don't believe that usually it's the case, but in case, I think this was coincidental, pretty coincidental, that it hit that 4,200 and started to bounce off of that number. And also there is, I don't know if you have paid attention to what Flappy was saying. Flappy was pretty on point with his analysis about how did it go last time with before FOMC. This the setup, it is pretty much the same. It is pretty much the same as of now. To bear that in mind, we will look into that picture, but pretty similar setup to what we saw during the previous FOMC, where it came down to that SPY. Basically, it went down into that 416 number.
That was really cool.
No Beavis, that also.
Watching that 416 number for SPY to get hit. But we kind of outsmarted them because we were looking for ancillary data, which was VIX and oil. So I went long around when oil was stabilizing, 42.05 or something like that. Got a nice upfront from there, all the way till I think right about here, somewhere around here. Yeah, 42.30, 42.40, somewhere around here. It hit that number. I got stopped out. And again, I did not take a position probably until here, somewhere around here, or maybe somewhere around here after this. So yeah, this right now is pretty much understandable why this happened, and this was pretty much the case that we knew that this was going to hit there and tried to take a breather because it was pretty overbought right about here. So this is what we look for. This is a very consistent pattern. Gets overbought, hits into a resistance zone, and then not as a resistance zone, but a resistance point, and starts to take a breather from there. What the heck is this? Okay, this is, I think, yeah, the script just came alive. It's alive. Giga Chat, I don't know who that is. Some people signed up. Level 1. Okay, fair enough. So I'm running a pyramid scheme, by the way, if you guys noticed that. Fun. I'm actually loving this stuff. I'm in love with this one. All right, so all right, sorry. Coming back to futures here. Expecting a hit of this number. Most likely, if it can hit here, it should break down from there. And just as we were talking about this number, it should push into this number. Most likely, when I say this number, I am pointing towards moving averages. I'm not looking at hard numbers. So whatever the number it would come into contact with this moving average, that's the number would be a valid number. So again, the same scenario here, getting overbought, hitting a major moving average, expecting a breather. What would be healthy here is for the markets or the futures not to run up. I would much rather want the futures to take a hit here, come back down, hit the 8, first hit the 5, then hit the 8, then probably 21, break into the mean. This is what I want to see happen. That would be the sign of a healthy push down, so that we can capture the upside tomorrow. If not, if the futures run hot from here, then easily you can say that the futures are running hot, and by the time the markets open, the futures need to cool off, and the markets will cool off alongside the futures. We don't want to have we don't want to see that happen. Why is that we don't want to see that happen? Fuck this. Why is that we don't want to see that? Oh, where did that go? This is nonsense. I'm gonna kill that macro. Hopefully, yeah, I think that got recorded. Sorry, guys,
What
if you're
happened?
listening at home.
I'm in love with this thing.
Yeah, well, trading is my first love. So daily. All right, here you go for me. So, well, where's the futures? Right here. Futures, the the 4 hour is still pointing to the upside, and I do believe there is a room for the upside, and that's the reason I don't want it to, fucking go up. Sorry. Anyways, so this thing is acting up. Don't want it to go up here, and so we will lose this upside. 4450 is what I'm looking to get out of the market tomorrow. That would be the base case to the upside. 4350. But if the futures run up there, then probably the markets will open there and we will lose out on the upside. Now, why am I saying that? Why am I worried about losing on the upside? Why can't I just, go short the market? The reason, again, being this week is the one of the bigger weeks for earnings. Four major tech companies are about to come out with their earnings. So obviously the volatility will be there. And now if the market runs up and there is no room for the market to run up further, then you'd be stuck in a limbo whether you want to go long or whether you want to go short. You can't figure that one out. Again, the reason being the technicals will be telling you that go short, but the bigger picture is telling you to go long. So again, that's the reason I don't really want that to happen. Really want the futures to come back down so that we can get a good entry tomorrow. So if let's say let's look at it this way. Let's say if the markets were open and the markets were still running right now, even after that 100-point move from 4200 to 4300, would you still be taking a position there? Obviously, the answer would be no, right? You don't want to be taking a position even after a 100-point run on the same day. You don't want to do that for the same exact reason. I don't want this to run up so that tomorrow we can still make a decision whether to go long or short. However, technicals are still pointing to an upside. 43 about here, 4350 is my base case to the upside. Well, I can pull back my base case about here, 4327. Then a good to have would be 4350. But let's keep things, well, actually, why not? So this is trying to clear here, but it's unable to. So we can clearly see that in the regular candles. Want this average to come back down. Right, looks like we'll get our wish fulfilled. 4287 and then probably obviously 4278. Don't want this to bounce even here. Probably want it to go down to 4667. So let's say, for example, tomorrow the markets open around this 4267 or something like that. Then the base case would be right here. 4300 would be the base case. So assuming the markets would open lower tomorrow around 42, let's say this number, around 4267, around 4260 to 4267, then the base case to the upside, we will do this again tomorrow in the morning. Then the base case to the upside would be this 4300, and after the base case is done, then we could look for a push into this number 40, about here, 4350. So that's what I'm looking for. And if the markets open around 43, then the base case would be 4350, right about here. After 4350 is cleared, then we're looking for a push into 4392. That would be an insane rally, two days in a row, back-to-back 100 points to the upside. That would be insane rally, but not out of the question. Why? Because again, the big tech is about to report. That's why. And all of those companies that are coming out are market mover companies. Basically, they can rally the markets because of what their weightage in the indices. And the second thing is that the sentiment matters a lot, especially with something like Amazon, or rather Google, or something like Microsoft. Sentiment matters a lot. So keep an eye on that. Next thing, what am I watching is this guy, Bitcoin. And we were looking for this push. There's no second thought. We were looking for this push. From yesterday, we were plotting for this to hit this number, the Bollinger Band, and take a push into whatever this number is. Exactly, that's what is happening right now.
You there, Tom?
Hey, Brian, is that you? Brian, can you hear me? Brian, can you hear me? Right, cool. So this is what the play. This was the play on this thing, uh, Bitcoin. We were looking for a hit of this right here and a push above, and now this will be a critical moment. What we are looking for, the mean. So the mean clears, then a clear hit at 41, and then a clear hit at 41.3. And after that Bollinger Band is hit, I am not sure what to expect after that from from this crypto or the BTC. I'm really not sure what to expect after this right about here. Most likely, my thought process would be, given the technicals the way they are, we are still looking for a crossover on the MACD. It still hasn't happened. Most likely, once the crossover happens, this will bring in some buyers, at least some buyers, and that should push it into this number about 41.7 and 42. And if it catches fire, which might happen, which I think will, to be honest, I think this run up will come up upon us. But right now, I'm not plotting for about 44 or something, but this run up might very easily actually come upon us. And right now, we're looking for the break of mean and then a push into 41.8, or rather 41.08. So if it clears here, I think it should push into 41.71. Let's reassess the situation here because this is a very solid line. This should act as pretty solid, pretty decent resistance. But the technicals are there. I think it should give us another at least couple of green bars. That should put us about here, 41.2. And I think it should pick up. I think it should pick up. The averages are pointing to the upside, so I think it should pick up. Let's see how this plays out. And as long as you have BTC pushing up, I think it would signify that the markets are on a risk on mode. That's how I'm gauging. That's how I'm looking at BTC as a gauge for risk on or risk off environment. And that's what I'm looking for BTC as. Nice. So, and let's see the futures on the daily. Right. So this is what as actually I'm looking at right here. So expecting futures to hit this number pretty soon. Pretty soon, I'm expecting this number to get hit, the 5, and then most likely a breather here, and then a push into 8, and then a push into this super trend right here. If you extend this super trend, it is coming down to 43.70, and if it can push there, looking for a push into 43.94. And this is the reason I am saying that we could witness another 100-point rally. Right now, not really plotting for that. Why this rally? Again, if you have at least a couple of big names coming with better than expected numbers, yeah, this would be done without thinking. because the market, especially the tech, is oversold so much that this 100-point move would be pretty much done uh, probably within a half a session or something. So that's what will drive these numbers. And this would be most likely, positioning before the earnings or short covering before the earnings. Nobody wants to be short the market, so I don't believe that. Look how far it came down to, right? Almost into its third standard deviation. So it was just a matter of time. It would have to push in here. Let's see how that plays out. And SPX. This thing, again, the same scenario coming out and expecting it to push into 43.46. And this is the reason this number is my base case. And if you come back into high Kanashi candles, 43.57. Right now, I think it's stopped somewhere around, you're not in here, probably somewhere around here. Right. So futures are struggling somewhere around here, 43, 42.97 or whatnot. And a good push into this. And so let me rephrase the whole scenario. Right, it should come into this super trend right here first thing, and should take a breather, and that would only happen if, let's go back here with SPX and there. And yeah, let's see this SPX push into this number 4309. So after that we will reassess the to the upside. But for now, this is what you want to be playing. This is what you want to be seeing, a push into 4319 and probably a push into this number 4376. So the way that you want to be plotting for that is like this. It should hit this number 4326 and then a push into 4340. This should be the base case. Basically, this should be the base case when it would come back in and hit this number. And if it clears this number, a good to have would be 4358, and then most likely it will push into this number 4381. So right here, this is the base case, 4340, and a good to have would be 4375 to 4380 range. So for now, let's plot that. And there's a very good chance it will push up into this number, 4407. But right now, not plotting that. And to the downside, yeah, I think to the downside that 4280 is that number that is still valid. 4280, the number is still valid to the downside. But if the earnings missed, then yeah, we are looking at some dire, situation, and I'll be taking full advantage of that push down if it actually pushes down. And even not really pushing, looking for this number. So looking for this number 4280. This is the downside, base case to the downside 4280. If they extend that line here, this should be the downside, base case to the downside. And if it slips from there, then we could look for a push into 4250s. And not really plotting 4170 right now. But SPY, let me open up SPY. It is much easier to see. Right here. Right about here. So this was the number majority of the market participants were watching right here, 4116. Last time it bounced there. So this was the number majority of the market participants were looking for. But we did not get that number simply because oil and VIX started to come back down. But this was the number. This was the line in the sand. Uh, SPY had to hold on to this trade, 416 trade. And this is the exact setup that Al was talking about. Flappy. This is the number. This is the setup. Flappy was referring to all day. In fact, over the weekend as well, he was referring to the same exact setup. That it came right back in, and FOMC happened, and it pushed up. So let's watch right here, I think. So this is what this one or this one. I'm not sure. Either one of those pushed down, and after FOMC it pushed up. So this time seems like the same setup. And to combine the volatility, we have earnings, we have interest rates, we have the war and everything going on. So go figure. But we'll try to simplify things as much as possible. Stay on voice. I know I got a couple of DMs today that it's confusing. The markets are confusing, and they're unable to make certain decisions about their trades. So I would strongly recommend stay in voice, and that would be ideal if you can stay in voice. Um, yeah, staying in voice would be pretty ideal if you can. All right, so SP, of course, we'll do all of this thing again tomorrow morning, and yeah. So before we push into something else, this is what I wanted to show you guys. VIX trade, right? So yeah, so VIX trade, and the numbers that I was watching for VIX were pretty decent right here. Where's the VIX? VIX at these levels was pretty unsustainable. There was no doubt about it, right? And everybody here knows that I operate on this time frame, a 1 hour time frame. And why I went bullish on the markets? Obviously, first thing, oil. We were looking for that oil to stabilize, and as soon as oil stabilized, everything stabilized, and VIX started to come back down. Now, let's go back into this chart, and this is the crossover, right? And even before that chart, you want to go into this chart right here. And if you were on voice, you heard all of this live. This is the chart. This is the chart I operate on, and this is the chart I follow, right? So this is the day trade. And obviously, yesterday we were following this chart all the way till here, and we were looking at all the technicals possible, and this is where it gave us a signal to the downside, basically. This is where I started paying way more attention to. I took a position actually here and got Apple position. So didn't work out. So did not even mention that. Did not work out. It was actually it did work out, but still, the morning came out, and yeah, it was not supposed to go this way. This was supposed to continue to the downside, but it did not. It bounced off of its 8, and this is the reason I keenly look a very keen eye out for this 5, 8, and then 21. So this was supposed to happen. 5, 8, and 21 did not happen. I got screwed on my Apple position, and on my swing, basically from the last week, I took that calls, expecting it to push down here. Did not happen. A push up happened. Then obviously it was supposed to come back down because all the conditions were right there for it to come back down. 5, 8, push into this Bollinger Band, inner Bollinger Band, hit of mean, hit of 21, hit of this thing, the super trend. We knew how it was going to play out, and exactly that's how it played out. And now this is where it went negative, 8 below 21. And once it went 8 below 21, I was tracking it on the 15-minute chart right here. And once the 8 below 15 happened here, there was no freaking way that VIX was going to come back up. And then the trades, the numbers that I was giving you guys was from this chart, so that it was much clearer to look for the cycle. This one right here, we got this number, and we're looking for a push into this 2850 something. This was a clean move on VIX, right? So this was the first cycle, and then this was the second cycle, and expecting it to break through this number. Most likely, yeah, ephemeral bounce. Why? Because of this technicals right here, ephemeral bounce, looking for that ephemeral bounce on VIX. And that's the reason that I'm looking for a push down on the, what is this, ES. What is that called? I forget. Futures, sorry. So looking for a push down on futures because looking for an upside on the VIX. So it should push up here during the overnight session, the fixed VIX futures, and then take a breather and come back down into this number, 2586. That's what the plan is for tomorrow. If for it to go and hit this number, 25 or 26, right about here. We will reassess the situation here. My understanding is that it should break that and push into this number, 2487. Why? Again, the technicals are telling us that there is push to the downside, but 200 being a big number, a big moving average, it will hit that 200 and it will test that 200, probably an ephemeral bounce. Then we'll start to look to push again. But from here on, it will be active trades. This easy trade to the downside is pretty much done right here. Close your eyes and taking this trade, which is what I did. But here, from here to here, this would be actively managed trade. But then again, if it breaks below here, that would again be a easy trade. So that's what I'm looking for. It is coming pretty close to that, and probably it should. Hopefully, it doesn't open here. Hopefully, VIX kind of stays elevated somewhere around here. Then we can look for a push down. That would be an easier trade. Okay. Uh, and Microsoft, everybody took that trade. That was an easier trade, very easy. Apple, whole day my screen was up, so you could see Apple there, and Apple was an easier trade. Not an easier trade, but yeah, Apple was the trade that was pending to happen, and that happened. But Microsoft was much easier of the trades today. And again, the reason out, and it lost its five, right? So this is never a good thing. So this is what needs to happen when it loses its five. Have to go back into it's the core moving average, the 8, and now it's pushing into its 21. Most likely looking for a push into its mean. That's how I want to play that. And the mean, I think it's sitting about here. 82. Was expecting it to happen today itself, or what for whatever reason did not happen. Tomorrow, looking for a hit of that number and exit. A strategy will get engaged here. There's a good bit of chance that it will push into 287 or something, but I am not the one to sit down and wait for that to happen. I will probably engage my exit somewhere around here and look for an exit for that. Right about here. This was the number that I was looking to get today itself, but did not happen. It is what it is. All right, Apple trade again. And why do I watch these two all the time? Even if I'm not trading, I watch Apple, Microsoft all the time simply because they put together they are about 11 to 12% of S&P, and the way these two move, the rest of the markets will follow. Right, no brainer there. And besides that, if you see my watch list, I'll always have Amazon and Google on there, and just throw in Facebook for the heck of it. So if you see these four as positive here, that means the market's simply moving higher. And always I keep an eye on this US 10-year and US oil. So this is how and of course, VIX. This is how I keep a very good grip on the markets with what I see. And of course, the tick has its own charts. So it becomes pretty easy to scalp or take in and out of the positions. Um, right. And why am I not charting other stocks right now? Because volatile week. So don't want to do that right now. Besides that, if you're looking at any other stocks, do let me know. Let's look for a second opinion. What are some good cheaper stocks to trade passively? RKO and FN good. F maybe not. F maybe not. But KO. Uh, Look at Hutch. So yeah, Hutch is talking from experience there. By the way, he has F in his portfolio, and it is effing him. Sorry, guys. That was. Alexa, turn off front light. All right. Since the time I changed its voice to a male voice, it is listening actually. Did you go over UPS? UPS or UPST? Both. So, Brad, look for KO. KO is one of the best run companies on the face of the planet. And right now, I think it's in flavor because it's a consumer staple. So look for that one. And as speaking of broader markets, as you see the inflation numbers now, it's yeah, how do I put this? We are in a very weird situation right now. Okay, why? Because interest rates are going up. That's no secret right now. But you see the home numbers, right? Home numbers and all that are coming in good. Why is that? Right? Why exactly is that? So with rising interest rates, you need to be having housing. As housing should start to soften, but we are not seeing that. The reason behind that is I believe that people are rushing in to lock in the lower rates because Fed
Okay, at
isn't
this point, if you're
raising interest
watching
rates,
this, it should be
obviously, and
because
the
you have your
interest rates
VPS
are
all
going to
set
go
up.
up.
You have
So
Windows 10
people who
installed
are
on
in
your
the market,
VPS.
I
You have
think,
your
are
host name,
rushing
username,
to
and
close those, lock
password.
in those
And
lower
your other
rates.
word for
And
host name would be
I'm
IP.
not sure who posted
Step
it. I
one
think
completed.
Al
Okay, fine.
posted it
Page
on
9.
Flappy Taco.
See if we can get
I
this
think he
page a little
posted that
bigger
that
here. Bonus
mortgage
3 point.
or lenders, the lending
Oh,
banks
here's
or
what I'm
mortgage
familiar with.
banks,
So
those
Windows
people
installer
are
64-bit,
trying
Windows
to
installer
cut down
32-bit.
on their staff.
So how do you know
They have actually
which of
started to
these
cut
you
down on the
have?
staff
So it tells
or
you
the
recommended. Now I don't know if
mortgage
this recommended is
unit.
because it's
So that is
picking up
happening,
on
and I
what this
believe that
computer
it will
is.
continue
I don't know
over
what this
time.
computer is, if it's
I believe
64 or
that
32. It's probably
housing will
64.
start to soften
The way you can find out is
once
just go here to
the
the
summer
search bar
season
and
is
type in
done.
system info, I
And
think.
as far as the credit card data goes, that is still coming in strong. The readings are still strong. So the consumer is still there spending the money. The only thing that I'm not able to understand is where the consumer is getting that money from. So that's what I mean, many people that you see, are kind of don't want to go back to the job, right? Even though the job openings are there, they don't want to go back into the job. So that's another thing that I'm watching very keen. So if you want to keep an eye on that, look for Jolt's report, JOLTS. That's a report that talks about that. uh, and besides that, overall, keeping an eye on various other factors just to see what is happening in the economy as a whole. And also this week or next week, probably, I don't know, we have FOMC. And if you sit out earnings this week, we have FOMC, and we will surely play FOMC. Okay. Did you go over UPS? No, I did not. Let's go over UPS. I don't like my charts being jumbled. All right, so this makes much sense to me. 15-hour daily. uh, it's actually simple. Okay, so UPS, I do believe that I think UPS after this pump, I think it would have been a great bounce if it would have continued its push down there around 150, 181, or at least to 182.29. This would have been a great bounce spot. So it did not bounce off of a good spot. So I'm expecting it to come back into that spot to test that area. Mm, and right about here. yeah, UPS. Yes. Did not bounce off of good levels. It is just bouncing off of techs. But watching this right here, so tomorrow on any bit of good news, if you see the what is this MACD lines start to cover, start to cross, then you would see a push in UPS to the upside. So slightly right here, then right here, and then a mean is sitting at 197. Not expecting the whole shebang to happen tomorrow itself. If the earnings come in good, most likely we'll get about, let's say right here, 192, and then 196, mostly at around here. Let's reassess the situation.
Let's look at getting set up.
But if the earnings are anything better than, anything not good, or if the commentary is not good, or if the you know if the market sees that as not good earnings, then a good push into 182 is sitting right there without even batting an eye. You can short this thing if the earnings are no good. Then a push into 180. This will happen if the earnings miss. 181. Not really looking for a push into 158 as of now. So yeah, I think this is where it should bounce off of. 182 to 181. This is the range it should bounce off of. UPST2. UPST is, well, this is just a technical bounce that is happening on UPST. The conditions are there for them to flourish as a business, but not really sure how fintech will survive, or how fintech will the business would change given the whole interest rate saga going on. 9th May most likely. I would want to say it will run up into earnings, but there's not enough. Not enough. Think not enough data for me to say that. This is just a technical bounce, and this you'll have a much larger bounce if the MACD starts to curve above. So if you see the MACD crosses over here, then you'll see probably position traders come into play, or even the algo will start to pick this up, and probably it will push into 81.80, and then a hit of this number will happen, 88, 88, 87, whatever this number, this will happen. If it can clear above 82.50, then a good chance 87 will happen. There's a good chance of that. UPSD. Yes, ma'am. From see a poop emoji. I don't even want to see who's that from, because I know that. Again, the same thing. It is bouncing off of pretty decent levels here. So I think it should bounce. It should come back into most likely. Yeah, this is actually is coming back into this number. Anyhow, technicals work 32.99, and look at this number here, just about there, 33. Right. So technicals are technicals. It is what it is. So if it clears here, then we'll look for a push into 33.70. And if it clears there, and then we could look for a push into 34.70. Not plotting beyond that, but the technicals technicals are not really there. But let's see. For now, I think the technicals are not really there for it to push beyond 34.80. But just in case, because we don't really know how these companies react to interest rates and whatnot. Hopefully, this should bode well for interest rate pushing up. Should bode well for something like an Affirm, buy now pay later model. But and now I think the competition is also increasing for these guys. Let's see how that works out. The mean is sitting at about 40, 39.50, something like that. Not really plotting that 39 right now, but God knows how these companies react. But I would keep an eye on this. Downside, not really a whole lot of downside. Well, 30 maybe, but not really a whole lot of downside as of now. Yeah, had 4. If 5 less than I paid. Nice. All right, so anybody has any further questions? If not, let's do this again tomorrow morning. And now, see this? This is how it would look like when the macro is done running. It will come back into, this is my wallet balance. So this is what I made so far on my transactions. Just putting $1,000 yesterday, and this is what I've done so far. So I think I need to run this macro again, and it is not running. It should do it by itself. Ba-dum-bum.
No,
What do I do?
we can set up that Firefox real quick if you want.
Yep, give me a few minutes, so I can just go eat and come back,
Okay.
or I can just.
Yeah, I ain't staying up till no 4 o'clock again tonight though.
Oh yeah, you were up till 4, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you clear the balance? Icon script is basic. Structure web pages. Yeah, I need to set that up on this thing for now. So this is how it's run. Basically, you can do it right here. You can click on that. This is manually happening right now. Where is that? Right here, it shows up at like this, right? So this is the market price. This is the transaction price. So you're simply making the difference on this, and you're getting this much amount for that transaction. You're getting involved. This is your the transaction amount that you're getting involved, and the difference is what you get paid. That's what is happening. So if you don't feel like going by this, cancel that. Look for another one.
No need to do that. They're all the same.
Is it? Oh,
You
look
make
at
you
it.
make
That's
three
what I'm
tenths
saying.
of
It's different. It's
you make
different.
three. I know, but you make 0.3% on each transaction, so it's all the same. Don't ever cancel one. No need.
I see. Makes sense.
The platform is making that spread. They're giving
Mhm.
you 0.3% on your money
I see.
in return for
So
doing the transactions for them.
I see. So this is my profit right here.
Yep.
Right. So this is what I did using manually, using push of the button, and you see the wallet balance went down here, and this is the transaction where it should be somewhere right in the transaction. 604 is in the transaction, and this is my wallet balance. So now if I want to do it with the macro, so just go here, and I can click on that macro right here, and I can play the macro, and it will take care of that thing. It's doing something right now. I have no idea what it's doing. But basically, what you will see is once the macro is done, it will push this into a transaction. It will take a transaction based on this amount, and it will clear this. It will run the macro till it comes below $5 here. That's what it will do if it's running. There you go. It is doing by itself. Now that's it. It will keep doing the same thing, and it will keep posting now from 24 cents, $24. It's up to $26 now. That is it. And now you can see the wallet balance has come below 5. Insufficient funds, and we are done. Now you wait for 2 more hours, and this balance comes back in the transaction. I have the transaction. I have 1020 now. Once that transaction is done, it will push the wallet balance again to 1024 or whatever. Now it is $27. I have made $27 here now. That's what will add up, and my wallet balance will be 1027. And then again, the macro will run. You don't have to really do anything. Just like that, it will keep running. And the same thing over and over and over again. And that's where the compounding thing is coming into picture. And that's what I like about this whole scenario here. And besides that, this is something that, if anybody signs up using your link, and then you will get a referral. GigaChat, I don't really know who this is. I'm not sure. LM, I think it's Louis. This is Ankit. I don't know who this is. Chimera, I don't know who this is. But yeah, so the total incomes is 0 right here. Residual income is 0. So that means they haven't made a transaction yet. Just signed up using my link, but they did not make a transaction yet. That's what that is suggesting. And anybody, let's say if this person GigaChat refers another person within their using their referral link, then this would show up in my level 2 here. That's what it is. And this is just, I'm not really interested in this part of the referral thing or whatnot. This will add up. This will add up. This will help in creating that your goal faster. But I'm not really interested in this. I am rather interested in well, the whole compounding thing. That's what I'm very, very, very interested in. And if this experiment, after a month, of course, I'll be showing this live to everybody, so that everybody's aware of what is going on. You can. It's yeah. If it turns out to be a pyramid scheme, if it turns out to be a scam, yada yada yada, whatever it is, I should be out within a month with my original investment. And this is the money that I can afford to lose. So that's the reason I'm putting that money in there. Be very clear about it. And if I do hit, big numbers with this, yeah, then probably, I'll, I'll, I'll have some kind of party with all of us in there. Crypto pyramid scheme. There you go.
That's it? Just a party?
Whatever kind of party it is.
I'm pretty bad with this stuff. Would you mind just showing how you get the bot hooked up to the site on iMacros?
Yeah, we'll go through that in a minute here. If you guys want to hang out for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, go eat. I'll
Yeah,
you need to go eat,
there,
right?
that is there, right? So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I'm here.
go ahead,
I'm so I think what I need to do is kind of start from the top, because there are several people that are wanting to